Hello everybody, it's Andrew's weather predictions here. Today I'm going to be talking about potential for some severe weather next week, heavy rainfall for portions of the south and the plains. Really not too much to talk about, but there is some sort of severe weather signals that I've been seeing for the long range, so we're going to talk about that. Currently with the Weather Prediction Center here, really not much is happening. We actually did have a tornado warning, surprisingly, in southwest Washington this morning. I have no word if that touched down or not. Day 2. See here, some showers, heavy pockets of snow, and mixed precipitation are possible. And as we go with day 3, we start to see a pocket of thunderstorms across this area here, potentially, along with that cold front. Bringing up some warmer air. Look at your front map here. We start to see some heavy showers and thunderstorms, along with a dry line with no precip. Now, I won't be surprised to see a low-end severe event in this area, potentially something like a marginal, if you can get some confidence with the systems and stuff. Monday comes along, wouldn't be surprised to see like a marginal risk somewhere in here. But mainly gonna be more of a heavy rain hazard. Tuesday, Dixie Alley could get on some small severe weather maybe. Wednesday, nothing really significant. Wednesday maybe to Thursday, there could be another, looks like to be another low pressure developing up here, and models have been really starting to signal for potential for some pretty big time severe weather in here, and we'll have to really watch that. Maybe even a little bit further north, or maybe a little bit further east. We'll have to really see. Friday, it moves into the northeast, giving them their first chance of showers and thunderstorms of the year. Here's your QPF for the next 7 days, and boom, we get a really big area of heavy rain across to Iowa, and then across the deep south as well. Alabama, Florida Panhandle, Mississippi, and Louisiana being the hardest hit. Over here, Kansas, and Nebraska, and Iowa being the hardest hit. Other states in these blue colors are going to see above an inch of rain. Look ahead here at the Storm Prediction Center. No severe weather for the next 48 days outlined. They do mention potential, though, for some severe weather in this discussion, but currently the probability, anything is really too low to really got a good grasp at it. Potential and predictability are too low. Now, let's go into that tornado outbreak we had the other day. So here's the first day of the outbreak. We had a couple confirmed tornadoes, 2 tornadoes in Mississippi, and then a tornado in Oklahoma. We had a wind and hail as well. The next day, here is our high risk. Thankfully, it didn't verify to the level it could have verified, but we still had a lot of significant tornadoes across this area. And even if they aren't rated highly, which I'll show you in a second, there were probably still some violent tornadoes out there. And then the 18th of February, we saw another prolonged tornado outbreak continued across Atlantic and into this area. Take a look at our tornado outbreak here. Let me update this. There are already 1 confirmed tornadoes with this so far. We had 2 tornadoes with this event, the first day, confirmed at least. Then we had 3 significant tornadoes with the Wayne County storm, the Selma storm, and then we had a Clinton, Alabama storm. There are still some tornadoes across these areas that are still yet to be surveyed, so that's something to note. We also had several tornadoes on March 18th as well. But yeah. Let's start by looking at the GFS pair, and I already have this saved on to Thursday, which is when our potential severe weather event could be going. This low placement is very scary. A low across Arkansas with significant convection in this area. Never a good thing to see that. If you look at your dew points here, let me just tag it off a little bit there. Very significant warm sector here. And yeah, we have a dry line actually that sets up, if this were to be correct, we have a dry line that sets up across this area. You got a triple point in southwest Arkansas if I do end up taking a sounding in front of the precip there, if I take one in this area here, you do end up seeing a favorable air mass for tornadoes. Now, the GFS pair is saying it's going to go linear. It's still really uncertain if this is going to be linear or super solvent, but as you can see here, we have decent CAPE values of 1,000. At lower level lapse rates are marginal, but the middle levels are fine. I have a large photograph, a little bit of lower level varying, and then a lot of heavy wind shear across this area. We really don't have a big dry slot, which could be another problem, but we'll have to see. Take a look at Northeastern Louisiana. You see a little bit more instability across this area, more lapse rates, a lot more veering with height. If you take a look at North Central Louisiana here, we see here we have a large photograph, a lot more higher lapse rates, a lot higher instability, and a lot higher shear, so something to watch here. End up looking at the 850 millibar wind shear. A lot of it, and that's because this low pressure is further south, so it's bringing up those southerly winds, and it's bringing up the 70 dew points, nearly 70 dew points. You see here we have our middle level low pressure, or upper level low, probably like right in here. You have another upper level low in here, but our surface low is probably in here, along with this wind divergence. And at this point, the heaviest amount of severe weather potential would probably exist in here, and areas further to the north and east as that trough progresses on. We do end up looking at the instability here. We do see values of 1,000 to 3,000 and a little bit higher. We'll see if this happens here. If you look a little bit further out, we start to see, yep, still a lot of instability. And then the next day, the para shows a significant severe weather event across Carolinas here. If you look at that lower level jet energy, it just shows it screaming out there, especially across North Carolina. There isn't really much convection, so, but let me zoom in down there and just chuck a sound in. We'll zoom in right here, North Central Carolina here. Pretty favorable for tornadic activity, except we do have a bit of a cap at the and right here. We also have a bit of a dew point, and we also have a bit of we also have a little bit of a dew point depression. It's a bit high, but it looks like your more favorable time could be 12Z if this were to be correct. And note some of the model data that I am going to be showing here. This will likely change over the next few days. Yeah, it's got some interesting stuff with it. But most systems are surely starting to pinpoint that we're going to have a system coming up into the Northeast and even giving them potential for some low-end severe weather. Let's actually take a look at the 18Z run. This is going to be a bit more updated. It still shows the system 0Z the following day. It shows a little bit more of a stronger low pressure. It shows really starting to strengthen down here. We still see a large area of 3,000 instability. And this run really doesn't change with the 12Z. It looks very, very similar to the 12Z run, except that this shows a little bit less. Okay, I'm going to try to pick a sounding in New Jersey, because that's interesting up there. Okay, nice little tornado environment up there. Interesting. If that were to happen, I know some people from social media that would go nuts up there if that would happen. Yeah. Let's take a look at the GFS, though. The GFS is going to likely show lower instability, so huge notice here. This will probably be higher. Oh, whoa. That's not good. Let me close my eyes here. That is significant. The GFS showing 1,000 joules per kilogram of energy, along 1,000 plus, along with a lower level jet like this. That screams a pretty substantial severe weather event. Now, like I said, this probably will change. Let's hope it changes. We don't want a significant severe weather event across the populated area like the Carolinas. That's pretty significant right there. Let's take a sounding like right there. I mean, that's pretty significant too. That's really significant right there. Holy cow. I mean, this isn't that significant, but I think it's sounding like right there in North Central North Carolina. That's a little bit linear and kind of But the one I cherry picked earlier, that was a good sounding, but it was okay. That's not a cherry pick sounding. It's pretty good, but move on here. 21Z, we start to see that storm system really move northward. And see, we still have instability all the way up into south central PA. If this happens, we're probably going to see a bit of a tornado threat up here, along with the tornado threat down in the Carolinas. And this reminds me of that system we had on November 30th, I believe, of this year. We had a tornado threat in the Carolinas and all the way up into the New Jersey, Pennsylvania area. Okay. Let's take a look what the new GFS says for portions further south, because I really want to look and see what it says. This is... Oh, no. Oh, that is trouble. That is trouble. If the GFS shows 70 dew points with this amount of energy and a lower level jet like this, that is problems. That is problems. I'm just going to say that right now. If this solution happens and models are really, really starting to pinpoint... Oh, that's a negative tilt. That is a negative tilt and a half. If this solution really, really starts to happen, I think the SPC could pull the trigger on a 15% ring out here tomorrow. I would not be surprised if they do that. Now, I won't be surprised if they don't, but I won't be surprised if they do. We'll get to the Canadian in a second, and I know the Canadian agrees, because I looked at it earlier, and it agrees with what the GFS is showing. It just shows it a bit further. Let's take a sounding. Actually, no, so. Holy crap. And having the surface low that far south, that's never a good thing. That means you're going to have a lot more instability. Oh my god. That's a lot of instability. Having the surface low further south, like I said, though, that's trouble. That means you're going to have a lot more instability. Or not instability. That means you're going to have a lot more wind shear across the warm sector if it's further south. You're going to have a lot more speed shear, stuff that you don't want to see. And actually, 18Z might be your peak time for tornado, or it could be your peak time for tornadic threat, maybe. Who knows? Whew! These soundings here are pretty linear, but they'll still do the job for the tornado. Okay, that's not as linear. That would support some tornadoes for sure. And damaging wind gusts and large hail. So, if we look at the Euro solution, it shows this. Shows something very darn similar to what the GFS shows, just east a little bit more. And the Euro, it's showing the system being a bit faster. That's not a bad sounding right there. It's also showing the system being a little bit less significant. The Canadian over here, though, it's showing, let me go back here to, I believe, Wednesday. It shows the big event on Wednesday instead of Thursday. It shows instability all the way up in here in central Illinois, so... Michigan. We're taking a sounding up there for the memes. Michigan! Oh, that's garbage. What is going on in Texas? What? What the... Oh, fun! Instability down there. Oh, no shear. That's a good thing. Besides the point. 18Z, we start to see the Canadian is agreeing with the Euro and showing a bit more of a faster moving system, but more of a northern system. I mean, it still gets the moisture pull up there, but not as significant. It does end up still showing a tornadic potential event over the Carolinas. Overall, the Canadian, though, is a little bit faster than GFS. We're gonna just take a sounding there. That's good, but it's cherry-picked, so you can't really go off of it. Let's take a look at the 500 millibar winds are with the Canadian. So yeah, the Canadian still has a pretty negative tilt to it. Still got a pretty dang good. That's probably gonna have a pretty dang good squall at that point, right? I would assume. Oh yeah, that's a nice little squall. Could be a little cold core threat up here if this solution with the Euro verifies. Could be a potential cold core event further up to the north. Sorry, something happened, but it could be another cold core event further up to the north there with the Euro if that happens. Yeah, the Euro and the Canadian are showing the lows being in this general vicinity right here. Well, the GFS and GFS V16 are showing the lows being in this general vicinity. And that's going to make a huge difference on the severe weather, because if we have a low like this, you're going to have a larger warm sector, but at the same time, you're probably going to have weaker wind shear further south, if I would assume. Actually, no, the wind shear to the south is actually still pretty strong with the Euro solution, so it's still pretty concerning. So yeah, it's still pretty strong. What about, like, Mobile? Now, yeah, it's a bit more capped and like in with the Euro, but the UK Met is actually going to be getting really close to this event. Let me check the 12Z UK Met. The UK Met, it looks like it's agreeing with the Euro and the Canadian. I'll just take a sounding with the dew points here. Yeah, that's all the subtle supports and stuff. It's getting in within range of this event, which is interesting. Very, very interesting here. Let's take a look at the GEFS, and this is going to be your ensembles. We're going to look at the mean supercell composite. The 18Z run is loading up here. Look at the mean. So they are agreeing with an event 78 hours out. We'll actually check that out in a second here. Okay, this is when we really need to pay attention. They're showing a large warm sector being at play. Let's stop it at 126 right now. So they're showing that at play. They're showing Cape probs of over 50%, I believe. Yep, over 50% for Louisiana there. EHI of 50 or so. Supercell composite probability of 80%. So definitely something you're gonna. Okay, nope, not max. Let's move along here. Okay, so they are showing something for Wednesday as well, and I know Broyles and different people off the SBC have gone off these GEFS ensembles before. Well, if they would do that, then they would probably put a large 15 in this area for day. I believe this would be. Let's see here. I can't get my days right now. I think it'd be probably somewhere in the day 5, 6, 7 area. But yeah, they're actually showing multiple potential events across this area over the next few days. And let's look at the 500 millibar mean wind pull off for that. 126. Ooh, that's actually pretty decent for this far out, having that much. Interesting. Let's look at the 18Z NAM for the Southern Plains and see what it shows with that system coming up. Okay, so it shows something with that. Let's take a look at your instability here. Okay, that's not terrible. It's actually showing some instability, but it is a bit... Ooh, 21Z is not that capped. That's hour 75. So we could be having another marginal risk on day 3 with this, maybe. It doesn't look significant per se, but we do get some sort of discrete thunderstorm initiation along a surface low there. Okay, this is too elevated of a base of the wrong. Too elevated of a base for there to be any tornado potential. So this would be, and this is gorilla hail moment. This would probably be some very large hail out of this sounding. Again, you start to see stuff along that surface low. See more initiation over here. Okay, that would be a tornado sounding if it wasn't so capped. That's might produce an isolated tornado, but it is pretty capped at the surface, so really don't expect much with that. Let's go into the rain amounts with what the Euro is showing over the next few days. Why not? Actually, let's first check the UK Met to see if it... Oh, the UK Met, be friendly. Be friendly, please show some instability for me. Oh, never mind, 50 dues, ew. But that's besides the point. Let's take a look at what the Euro is showing for total precip over the next few days here. Let's go. Boom. So the Euro is wanting to nail Dixie Alley with many systems with potential severe weather. It's wanting to nail the Midwest right in here. So those are 2 areas to watch for rainfall. 1 and 2. It looks like we're going to get a bunch of heavy rain systems that are going to have the upper level lows up here. Upper level lows with area 1, and then the surface lows with area 2. And the surface lows produce heavy rain. Also, snow, heavy rain in this area. Snow, heavy rain also in this area. Let's exit out these soundings here. Let's now move along here. We're going to look at the Euro model. We're going to look at the wave, I believe is what the model will look at. Oh wait, that's wave height. I'm dumb. Okay, a little momento. Work with that instantaneous flash right here. Let's just take a look at that. Nothing significant again for the next few days. And then Kansas, isolated severe weather with that. Then Texas, or I mean isolated strong thunderstorms. This could bring some severe weather to Texas, like we talked about. Maybe some wind, hail, maybe a brief tornado, who knows? But mostly a marginal severe threat. We move along here with that. Moves over to Dixie. Then some thunderstorms for me. Then that low pressure, potentially a pretty big severe event over Dixie. Look at that area of lightning there. Over 2,000 strikes per, I don't know how long, but a long period. And then we see a prolonged period of very heavy thunderstorms across Dixie. Like I said, bringing that heavy rain. Then the Euro is showing multiple potential events. And let's just look at the surface cape. We'll just look at the cape here. See here, it breaks out some in Texas, and then it really starts kicking in here for Dixie. So, yeah, but I think that's going to do it for this one. If you like the content you see, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, boys.